Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this is Book Chats. Today's Top 5 Wednesday is Top 5 Books You'd Save in a Fire. One thing that is important to know is theoretically these are books that I own, and I do own all of these books, but I am going to be moving in March, and I've already packed up half of my books, and some of them have already been sent to my parents' house, or I've never left my parents' house because that's kind of like a safe place for them to be while I'm in transition. So I only have 2 of these to show you, but I think I have clips of 2 other ones, so I'll insert those if I have them. When I think about books that I would save in a fire, the thing that I mentioned this in a different video, but all of my books are really replaceable, and so it really comes down to which books do I have some kind of sentimental attachment to, or is in some way they're less replaceable than others. So my book number 5 is A Darkness Strange and Lovely by Susan Dennard. So my copy was signed and personalized by Susan, and it's technically a little bit more replaceable than all the other books on this list, which is why it's number 5. Because Suze has been kind enough to provide a service where if you order books specifically from her local independent bookstore and you indicate that you want them to be signed, she will actually go in and sign them for you and personalize them if you've asked for them to be personalized. And it takes a little longer to get, and you pay a little more because you're paying full, independent retailer price, but you get it really awesomely personalized. So that's what I did. It's actually originally how I ordered this book. Her signed book to me is a little more meaningful because of the way that's personalized. In that same vein, the reason I have been following Suze is because I've been following Sarah J. Maas for probably at least 10 years now. Following her publication journey, her fiction press days. I have a signed copy of each of her books that's been released, but I can only pick one, so I actually think that I would keep Heir of Fire because it's in hardcover, and my other 2 signed copies are paperback UK editions, and so it would be a good excuse to start those over in hardcover. And I also have an unsigned first edition hardcover of Throne of Glass, but it would be, if there was a fire, it would be a good excuse to be like, oh, I have to buy the new, better cover. So the third is actually the one that is, in theory, the most replaceable of all these books that I'm mentioning. It's my copy of the ESV Study Bible, and even in such a American Christian first world problems way, I actually own personally at least 3 copies of the Bible. I have 2 of them in this apartment right now. This one is particularly meaningful to me because it was bought by my small group as a baptism present last year when I was baptized. And so when I look at this Bible, what I think of is not like, oh, look, it's a nice Bible. But I think, oh, look, it's my small group and the love that they have for me, and it's my church and the love that they surrounded me with on my baptism day. So that is why I would keep this particular copy. So the second book is kind of similar. It's a book that I really enjoy, but the book itself is replaceable, but the copy that I own is not replaceable, and it's meaningful to me because one of my friends, basically 2 of my friends were the reason that I first picked up Eleanor and Park and read my first Rainbow Rowell book, and I really love Rainbow Rowell's work, and I know I would not have picked up Eleanor and Park without them suggesting it, because I knew about Eleanor and Park, I had heard a lot of things about it, and I just did not think it was a book for me. And so the first time Rainbow Rowell was kind of in my neighborhood, I wasn't able to go to her signing, but I was able to pre-order and ask that the copies of her books be signed. And so I had a copy of Eleanor and Park signed for one of my friends that recommended it to me, and then I had a copy of Fangirl signed for the other friend that recommended Eleanor and Park to me. Basically, I had them I wrote a personalized message, and Rainbow was kind enough to write that, even though it was like for me, not her, but it made sense, okay? So that's background. So of course I gave both of those books away. I don't have those any longer. But that friend who I gave the copy of Fangirl to, she then was later able to actually go see Rainbow Rowell speaking, and she bought me a copy of Fangirl and had it personalized to me, and it was really meaningful when she gave it to me. I actually saw it and I was like, oh, you have my copy of Fangirl that I gave to you. And she said, no, that's my copy of Fangirl that I'm giving to you. And then I opened it and it was just really emotional. And so, yeah, it's just really meaningful to me because that is one of my best friends. And then the number 1 book that I would save in a fire, I'm actually not going to talk about it at length because I've talked about it before in my Epic Reads tag video, but I am going to put a little link to that here if you want to watch it. But basically, it's not even a book I would normally consider saving, but what is meaningful about it is what's meaningful and special about this specific copy. It's called This Island Isn't Big Enough for the Four of Us, and it's this book that I loved when I was younger, and I reread it as an adult and was like, I had interesting taste as a child. But what is special about this copy is that my friends have written in it. Essentially, what is meaningful to me are the annotations that it has. That is why this is my #1 book that I would save in a fire. Those are the top 5 books that I would save in a fire. If you had to choose what 5 books you would save if there was a fire, or if you had to move across country and you were only allowed to bring 5 books, I clearly am not only bringing 5 books because I have half of my bookshelf in boxes ready to be shipped right now. What would you save? And do you have specific books that are really meaningful to you, sentimentally or otherwise? Bye! Basically, it's 1 physical book copy, so honorable mention shoutouts go to my journals. I have 3 of them, and I wasn't willing to take up 3 spots with them, so they just got axed. My copy of The Wind in the Willows, illustrated copy of me, was given to me as a child, and I spent a lot of time just poring over the pictures. But ultimately, the story is not worth it to me to save. And then also, Betsy, Tacy, and Tib, I have a compendium of the first 4 books that was given to me by my best friend growing up, and it is meaningful, but clearly for obvious reasons I am banned from talking about that book anymore because I've talked about it too much lately.